The Istanbul City Circuit, located in Turkey, hosts the 14th round of the Formula One season for 2020. Just 4 races remain in the Formula One campaign of this rescheduled year. For the first time since 2011, it's the Turkish Grand Prix, and it provides Lewis Hamilton with his first opportunity to win a 7th world title. In 2 weeks' time, we are off to Bahrain for the Bahrain Grand Prix. A week later, it's the Shakir Grand Prix on the Outer Loop circuit, followed by the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix on the 13th of December. Lewis Hamilton stands his first chance of winning the 2020 season. He sits on 282 points. Bottas is 197. If Hamilton scores more than 7 more points than Valtteri, he's a 7-time champion. Max Verstappen, well, he's in a battle of his own, really. So it's now looking between Daniel Ricciardo, Charles Leclerc, Sergio Perez, Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz, Alexander Albon, Pierre Gasly, all in the top 10, fighting for 4th in the championship. On the second page, well, it's then we see Lance Stroll still in the fight with Gasly, just a little bit further behind. Ocon really in 12th place, languishing on his own. And then Danny Kvyat is 13th, and in his worst season in Formula One, Sebastian Vettel is down in 14th place with just 18 points. Nico Hülkenberg, though, still 15th on 10. 4 points apiece for the Alfa Romeo boys. Raikkonen ahead of Giovinazzi, 2 for Grosjean, 1 for Magnussen, and sadly no points on the board for Williams of Latifi or Russell. In the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes have done it. They were crowned as 7 times champion last time out at Imola. And now Red Bull, well, they've secured in 2nd place, but it's the battle for 3rd. Renault, McLaren, Racing Point, all within a point of each other. The race there is hotting up. Renault 135, McLaren, Racing Point 134. Ferrari is 6th. Yes, 6th on 103. AlphaTauri 89, 8 points for Alfa Romeo, 3 points for Haas, and no points on the board for Williams. It's the Turkish Grand Prix at the Istanbul Park, and this is Free Practice 2. Let's take a look around the 5.338 kilometre circuit of Istanbul Park. 58 laps ahead of us, a lap record of a 120.770 set by Juan Pablo Montoya in 2005. Start the lap, head downhill, open up the DRS zone into the downhill braking zone for turn 1. Be careful not to let the car go too deep, but you can pick up a very late apex as you hurtle uphill through 2 into the uphill heavier braking zone into turn 3. Banked part of the circuit, you immediately drop down the hill to turn 4. A sharp 90-degree right-hander into the 90-degree left at turn 5 and 6. Open up the kinetic energy system on the car as you launch uphill towards turn 7 before the fearless triple apex of turn 8. The drivers say this one is really going to be felt on the necks. 3 times left, left, and left again, all by trying to keep at full throttle at over nearly 200 miles an hour in a 2020 car. Drop down the hill, another 90 left, into the braking zone at turn 9 and turn 10, back up towards the second DRS detection point on the track at turn number 11. Now run all the way uphill with the DRS open into the braking zone of turn 12. Scene, of course, of Red Bull making their famous 1-2 crash in 2010. Hard on the brakes and overtaking opportunity here before the quick kink into turn 13 and the last corner turn 14. Hug the inside curb, open up the DRS once again and fire it to a line. That is a lap of the Istanbul Park circuit here for the Turkish Grand Prix. And welcome up to the commentary box for watch-along coverage of the second practice session for the 2020 Turkish Grand Prix. I'm Joshua Birch. Joining me in the commentary box in a few moments' time will be Ian Birch. We should have had a different commentator for FP2, but sadly they've gone travelling in the COVID restriction. They're at another event covering, so we'll hopefully get them on at some point this year over a FaceTime 2-point zoom, so we'll both be in different zones, but you'll be watching. So Ian Burge will kindly step in for FP2. Megan will be back for FP3 tomorrow, but we're about to welcome our radio listeners into the show. And here we are then again for free practice 2 at Istanbul. We are back for the first time since 2011. It's the 14th round of the Formula One World Championship. And surprisingly enough, this circuit is well liked, despite being a Tilkedrome. This place has a bit of everything. It's only 3.316 miles. It's 3 sectors, 2 DRS zones. But after a slow first couple of corners, it really opens up. The treacherous 4 turns of turn number 8 really sets the track on fire. Back in 2010, Hamilton versus Button down towards turn 1, side-by-side action. Hamilton forcing Button off the track and just managed to get off. The same year, Vettel versus Webber. Well, what was going on as Vettel went side-by-side with Webber and making contact after contact? And down in 2008 as well, Kovalainen versus Rosberg at turn 14. A nice move on the inside, proving that the last 2 corners are possible for overtakes. And along this circuit, Pirelli have brought their hardest tyre compounds. The C3 soft, the C2 medium, and the C1 is the hard, Johan Meggans, for this one as well. So we are almost set to go for the 2020 Turkish Grand Prix second practice session. Alongside me in the commentary box, joining me now is Ian Burge. Dad, welcome along. Oh, yeah, welcome along.
What did we learn from the first practice?
Absolutely nothing.
Ferrari determined to get to the top and didn't make it in the end.
Yeah, Ferrari were beaten by Verstappen.
Christian Horner getting a bit upset with Max Verstappen for doing that flying lap and then doing a few little spins. Because the soft tyres...
Yes, go on. I'm still here. Go on.
You just put it on fan.
No, I've turned it down to the second lowest one, so it doesn't burn your feet. Go on. Yeah.
No, it's the
Christian
bit of
Horner.
Eccleston there. Bit of a Bernie Eccleston.
Yeah, Bernie leg.
Bernie leg.
Go on.
Christian was pointing out that none of the teams have a lot of soft tyres for this weekend, especially Red Bull.
Yeah.
And he's gone and ruined the set because he was enjoying himself out there.
Didn't need to do it, but he did.
A few of the others got told off for enjoying themselves. Basically, the damp surface on a newly laid track in these conditions, it was like an ice rink out there.
And we're expecting more this afternoon as well.
And quite a few of the younger drivers loved it.
I thought, what was it? Danny Ricciardo saying it was like an ice rink out there earlier on this morning. Magnussen and Grosjean pretty much saying the same thing over and over.
They're just following the kids.
Yeah, they're enjoying it out there.
Because Danny Rick's not young now, you know. He's over 30.
He's 31, 32, isn't he?
Yeah, don't tell him that.
Loads of donuts marks from this morning as well, as cars found turns 8 and 9 pretty much very tricky. The chicane area, they were spinning around everywhere. This is what happens, I believe, at the exit the pit lane in practice 1. Charles Leclerc running over the bollard and brought out the red flag, and they had to avoid it because there was open bolts.
Yeah, the bolts that they needed unscrewing. He just ripped the plastic thing off the bolts, and the bolts were protruding. Car goes over them, you've got instant tyre deflation, ripped to pieces sometimes. And we've seen it with Grosjean before, what can happen when you suddenly hit something on the track.
At Malaysia,
a
couple of years ago. This was the spins of this morning then.
They were actually giving points for the spins.
Best spinner wins, seems to be.
We're supposed to have little paddles now to say, 5, 6. I'll give Max's 7. 7
spins. So we are about 10 seconds away from the start of the second practice session. We'll open up the graphics for you so you can all see.
I love that building there. It's so cool.
Oh, the building in the background of the circuit, yeah.
Blue mirror windows.
I do. I know exactly what you're about. The back of the pagoda that they nicked off Indianapolis. Green flag is on. The session is underway with another 90 minutes of second practice.
Indianapolis
out there.
has got a lift, though.
Oh, onto the podium,
lifts the car up onto the podium.
They've got a fantastic zone, haven't they, going forward? Hopefully, we're broadcasting to you a little bit easier now. We've done a lot of tech work over the past 2 hours. Well, you haven't, I have. And hopefully we're nice and smooth now for the remainder of the session.
I was management. I just told you to get it done because it's disgusting.
Well, it was very annoying this morning.
Very unprofessional, Joshy.
Well, we just glitched every now and then. It was very bad.
I don't know what I'm doing.
No, you don't know. Good afternoon, Ribozone. I can see you on the group chat. Megan will be delighted.
Yeah.
Hello there. We've got the sessions we got the session underway. We've got cars out on the track.
We only had one person that
commented this morning.
On anything this morning. No, we did have people listening.
I think 126 watched live. And that's going up.
Watch, later on as well. So
the last race in Imola had 416 views at the current count, and that is over 1,000 live.
Our trouble was that that it's a peculiar day. It's Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
13th is when I got my first son, David. So I'm not a good film.
Yeah.
Although
Friday the 13th,
I'm not into horror movies, but there was Friday the 13th, part 1, 2, 3, 27, 28, 90,
still going
32,
now.
42.
It would have been like 5,000.
There's actually been more films than there has been Friday the 13th.
There have been more films. Yeah, probably. Ribozone saying he was at university this morning and I could come. Well, that's no problem. Glad for joining in now, and hopefully you're having a good time at university. Hope you're staying safe with COVID and everything, and hopefully it wasn't too bad. A lot of people in this country, in the United Kingdom, are practically in prison, stuck in their university buildings, aren't they? We're on lockdown, and some of them doing over voice chat as well. So hopefully you're staying safe and everyone's staying safe.
David felt like that about Manchester Met when there was no COVID.
Yeah, because he was in the middle of nowhere there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
There's Kimi Raikkonen just out on the track, as you said in the FP1 this morning, won the first Turkish Grand Prix in Istanbul.
They were in Crewe.
Yeah. It's in Manchester. It's just in the little area, isn't it? And he was literally in the middle of a motorway.
Well, the end of the motorway.
Well, I thought it was in the middle.
The M6 is there, and then there's a dual carriageway that leads into Crewe. And just as you come off the roundabout, the university buildings are on the left-hand side.
It's about 12 years ago now, wasn't it?
Crewe is very famous for a certain make of Bentley.
Is it?
Yeah, Bentley cars are made there.
I didn't know that.
There's 3 things in Crewe that are worldwide known. Well, Crewe Alexander's quite a good youth team setup.
Yeah.
But there's Bentley cars.
Yeah.
The biggest sorting office in England.
I didn't know that. You told me that one,
yeah.
Sorry, you right?
And one of the biggest railway sidings outside of London.
Oh, we went to see that. Yeah. I've seen that.
There's a lot of history of railways in Crewe. There's a railway history museum which we went to have a quick look at.
I love the railway museums. As we see
York, our museum at York, which isn't too far away. About 100 miles at the most. I think it's 80.
It's around about 80, isn't it? Yeah,
80 something. If you go,
it's slap bang in the middle, isn't it?
Yeah. If you go hold.
Times on the board as we see Raikkonen. It's Bottas, I think, going top now on a 1:38.443. Raikkonen is second. Giovinazzi is third. So they're the first times on the board, and already Bottas on a 1:38.443, quicker than the time from earlier on this morning. That's better.
See, practice 2 is really for qualifying.
Yeah.
Right. So you do your qualifying type runs on this second.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas practice 3.
Yeah. That's basically just
the race setup.
Race setup from complete quality. Yeah. End of that as well. Cars already slipping and sliding. Lando Norris, whose 21st birthday it is today, is already sliding coming into turn 8. And if you lose it at turn 8, you end up in the wall. It's quite a bit of way out, but as Sebastian Vettel in FP1 a couple of years ago.
Last time out at Monza, we didn't have a Friday session. And the thing was that although they extended the practice session on the Saturday morning, the problem is if you find a problem in practice 1 or 2, you fix it for practice 3.
Yeah, and get back out
Whereas
the track.
There, you couldn't. So you had the situation with McLaren.
Yeah, everyone was being a bit delicate, weren't they, on the circuit? And we didn't see everyone pushing as much as we usually do on a practice.
And the qualifying was quite similar, really.
Yeah.
There wasn't the effort that put in. They were so worried about putting the thing in a wall and not being in qualifying. And then when it came to qualifying, they just couldn't up their game.
No, you're right, yeah. And because they learnt the track in a specific way, they couldn't really move it around.
Lewis was behind until the last minute
of Q3. Yeah. And he was behind here this morning as well. He was only about 15th fastest. He's got a lot of work to do today, Lewis.
Lewis has actually won here, but so he knows the circuit.
Yeah, and he won here 2010, didn't he, have to battle with Button. I can see, hello everybody, Poker Gamer, hello, in the group chat as well. And I can see Ribosome saying the track is so slippery they can't push. It's like a 50s F1 race. It's pretty much the same thing. It's a brand new circuit.
Yeah,
it was
we're
only
sliding
laid
around the
about
corners like the Silver Arrows used to.
It was only laid about 3 weeks ago, this track, and it's been heavy rain over the past.
They put a lot of money into it in the hope that they can get the to be announced.
Yeah, Grand Prix
in April next year.
And I think it's more likely we could see the Turkish Grand Prix back.
I do.
Because the problem is everyone's been saying, oh, let's have Portugal back on the calendar. But the problem is with Portugal, F1 paid the circuit to be there. Portugal don't think can afford to host a Grand Prix, whereas Turkey, they've wanted it back since they lost it in 2011. And that's only because it was a change of government.
Liberty have got to start thinking about how much they charge for these things.
Yeah, they've got to.
The emphasis at the moment is on certain tracks paying a lot more than some of the newer tracks.
Silverstone is paying a lot more, whereas Monaco doesn't pay anything because it's a heritage race. Why is it Silverstone?
And 2 tracks, sorry, we've just
both
just
coughing.
Had dinner.
Yeah, and it's the fan as well on the side.
And 2 tracks pay more money to be the first Grand Prix in the case of Australia.
Australia pay a lot.
Good morning, Australia. And
but Abu Dhabi pays to be the season end.
Season end. And
yellow flag out the circuit, sorry.
You've got public holidays that like the one in Mexico.
Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead.
They always like the F1 race on there.
That weekend. And so you have to fit the others all in. I mean, the British Grand Prix is traditionally held around about the same time.
Yeah, around about mid-July.
Mid-July, mid-July.
Bit of summer. They try and get it so that when the schools close, so the kids can come.
But as we proved this year, we can hold a Grand Prix anytime you want us to.
Yeah, what was it? We held both in August, didn't we, this year?
Yeah, and we were on standby, as was the other one for
a third race.
Third race.
Austria in Styria as well was on course for a third. I found out what the name was going to be for the third British Grand Prix if we had to stay where we were, if we couldn't go to Hungary. It was going to be the Northamptonshire Grand Prix.
Oh, because it's in Northamptonshire.
Yes, but that could have changed.
It's on the border.
Yeah, because it's half in Northamptonshire, half in Buckinghamshire.
If
they had to do 4 races there. The other one would have been the Buckinghamshire Grand Prix. Oh. So that's a unique thing about having Silverstone slap bang in the middle. Ferrari responding with their pace, 1:36.781 for Vettel, goes into second place.
I think this track is looking like it's suiting the present Ferrari.
It is, isn't it? Look,
we're having this in practice 2, a strong performance in practice 2, like we did in practice 1. Although the thing is, when it comes to qualifying, the Red Bulls and the Mercs
they seem to click. And they don't have the engine modes changed this time, but they do click.
Martin's down at turn 8.
He's been standing there for around about an hour and a half because he put a thing on Instagram at the top of the hour that I saw.
He's got his sandwiches.
Yeah, he's got sandwiches. He's had lunch out there as well. And he's just been getting ready to go forward. And he's taken one of his earpieces out as well, which is unusual. He's probably wanted to listen to those cars.
Listen to those engines as they go round. And this is the famous turn where for 40 to 50 seconds, you're battling your head going to the right-hand side.
And it's really not nice.
It's possibly the most G-force corner in Formula 1.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It must be pulling at least 8G on your neck at all times when you're around there, and it's really heavy as well. You imagine a G on your neck feels it. It's like a little twinge in your neck. It's like half a G. So that's painful for them. Think about what these drivers going through. They've all had to strengthen their necks. And of course, at this point of the year, we should have been in Sao Paulo for the F1 race there at Interlagos. And that's got that long last corner as well. But it's at a banking.
Yeah,
this one
COVID has put pay to that. Possibly the worst COVID results in the world are in Brazil. Because the president didn't feel like it existed, despite, masses of people being buried in mass graves.
And he then got it.
And he got it, yeah.
Slight justice there. But
I don't want to be political, but I don't think Trump had it.
No, I don't think Trump had it either. Well, he's no longer the president, is he? Regardless of how everybody feels on that, that's the road. If the track doesn't improve, the race will be entertaining, says Ribosome. Yep, you're absolutely right there. I was sat there during the break into dinner thinking, what's qualifying going to be like?
One of the
talking
everywhere. Of Brazil, I mean, I've spoken to Joshua many times before about the famous tea van or coffee van incident.
Yeah, where
it was raining and they had the awning up on the coffee van at the side of the track on the hill.
This is 2003.
And, it was hitting the awning, running off through a pipe that went out onto the floor.
Yeah, and then
down the track and onto the track. And was it 11 cars?
11 cars went off into the wall. Schumacher, Button, Montoya, Pitsonia.
Just something as simple as the fact that an awning was on a hamburger van.
Oh, and Verstappen's getting a bit racy out there with Giovinazzi, like in FP1. Verstappen's fighting everybody. He's on the soft compound so he's on the medium compound
bit
tyre.
Like Megan.
Yeah, but yes, actually. But isn't he? He's racing everybody. He's in a mix of a battle.
You and Megan had a game night the other night.
Yes.
She said she didn't win them all, but she won most of them.
She did a couple of them, but she was playing Among Us, and then I joined her for a round, and then I was mainly, I can't remember what else we were playing, actually. Lego Star Wars.
I've always told her not to ever play golf because, I mean, her cousins play golf, right? And some of them are pretty good at it and things like that. Not that she'd noticed, never coming out of the bedroom. But I would hate to see Megan with a weapon in her hand.
Yeah, Megan with golf would not be good. Hello, Raikkonen's gone top. Sorry, Raikkonen fastest, 1:34.940. He got a slipstream off of Carlos Sainz down towards turn 1 and got up there. Gasly's gone 13th, 1:39. So unlike in FP1 where it took a while to get going, they've all sort of twigged, hello, we need to get out there for FP2.
Yeah. Because they haven't got the results they needed from FP1.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot more track action.
Of course, she did used to have a weapon in her hand when she used to do fencing.
And then I do fencing now, yeah.
Yeah, and you do fencing as well. And yet we still have a hole in our fence.
Yeah, it's down. Hamilton is up there as well. I think he's improving. He's just coming across the line now. Hamilton, well, I can't see it because it hasn't come up on the monitor. Hamilton second fastest on a 1:34.644.
Yeah, they're having a little problem with that timing screen up there,
yeah, because ours are updating quicker than theirs.
It is Friday the 13th.
Yes, Friday the 13th. And
or in most of the world, it's the 11th of the 13th, 2020. Not
yeah, they always run the other way around, don't they? Verstappen's 5/10 up nearly. Kvyat goes up into a 10th. Lap time deleted for Valtteri Bottas. Track limit at turn 1 from the race control stewards there.
Sliding.
Luckily, we've got an FIA screen up in our box, and that's the same timing you're seeing there with the drivers on your screen, and it's showing us the actual track map. We've got another track map there for detailed signing, the YouTube chat, and then the page 3 of the timings that we found out was so crucial coming back from the Italian Grand Prix.
Yeah, we talked about this morning. We have heard rumours, and so have a number of other people, including Sky Sports, that the rumour is that 3-year contract has been signed for Lewis Hamilton.
So Lewis will be driving 3 more years at Mercedes, which is I think is fantastic. But George Russell, I don't think is thinking it's that good.
No, but although there's no place for George in a higher thing last season. Hopefully he will get more out of that car now that they've got more money to develop it.
Absolutely.
But I think there are quite a few people, because of the people that sent him good wishes after the accident that put him out of the last Grand Prix, which was just cold brakes.
It could happen to anyone.
There was an interesting thing there that when you raised it this morning with the FIA are getting very lax at their security.
Yeah.
This morning you have an elderly gentleman who must have been about my age.
A bit older.
I don't know. I look quite young for my age.
You do. Everybody always says it.
Right, but he had no mask on.
No gloves.
We don't have to have masks because that's my son, and
we're in the same
house.
Yeah, so we're fine.
And Megan's the same, and that was bad enough this morning. But there was a number of organisations, RTL and Sky, who raised the situation of, was it dangerous? It was in the press conference, actually.
Yeah.
That it was raised officially so that everybody knew, right? Did George see when he was sat down with the guys cleaning the track how close the cars came to them? Now
Could have done, yeah.
Now,
I did
when you
notice
think
it, yeah.
about it, right? Michael Messi, what the hell was he thinking of? Letting them go do
across
that
the track, yeah.
right? Because of the fact that
I think we called it in the race,
well,
didn't
George,
we? Yeah.
George had actually spun at that point because of
On
cold brakes.
and it's in the same zone.
Same zone, right? How do you know that any of the others wouldn't? And just wipe out a couple of marshals. These marshals do this for the love of the sport.
Yeah.
Right? They deserve to be protected as much. I'm on my rant box.
Absolutely.
Again.
No, I agree with you. I think didn't we see something in the race on board one of the cars a marshal across the track?
The marshal this morning with no they're all tested, so
yeah,
he's probably tested negative for COVID anyway.
But it's still
he's like talking in the face, really close to the driver. Who was it? Was it?
It was Sainz this morning.
Sainz,
yeah.
Carlos, wasn't it? Yeah,
he stopped on the track. Just 2 seconds. We've got times on the board. Albon's fastest to 1:31.916, followed by Verstappen.
Which is what we were asking for this morning, 1:31s.
Yeah. But it's Verstappen, Leclerc, Hamilton, Bottas, Vettel, Raikkonen who set fast times. But I've just noticed, and I waited to see if anyone else would do it. Verstappen did it with Gasly, and Albon's just done it with Stroll. They've used each other as a tow down the start-finish straight to get the lap time quicker.
Yeah, to get the last bit of the Sector 3 time up.
So are we going to see a situation where the tow is going to be even more important come qualifying?
Oh, I hate that, because what it ends up with is in qualifying, you end up with cars lagging behind, trying to get a tow from the other. Yeah. And like the other year, last year, when they ran out of time.
Yeah, you called that one. I wasn't in the box at that point.
Oh, wow, it was so stupid.
I've watched it back and I was like,
he was screaming at them to get going because they're going to lose it. I mean, Carlos Sainz, who we've just mentioned, he was the one that actually overtook the rest of them and tried to
and he got the lap,
do something about it and got the lap in.
I think he got 8th fastest overall. Perez goes 5th, 1:34.128.
I'm a bit dubious. I would like to see the Ferrari are back, but I'm a bit dubious about this.
I agree. There's something else going on. Oh, Mum's texting. And this young call that would come up. Yellow flag is down on the track, and I can't see why at the moment.
Where's she text?
It flashed up on all the monitors. Yellow flag out at the moment, and I can't see. It's Alexander. Oh, hello. No, it's not Albon.
That's Latifi, isn't it?
I think it's Grosjean in the Haas.
It's a Haas, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Grosjean.
I saw the red Haas name.
Yeah, it looks like Alpha.
Latifi.
So I think that was it was Grosjean spun and continued at turn 7. Comes up on the monitor.
Grosjean will always spin.
So that's an unusual one.
He's used to spin. That's why we're still in Formula 1, because he talks himself up.
There we go. So coming into turn 7, this is the banked part of the track before the long turn 8. Does he touch the curb? Yes, he does, and loses the rear.
Best time for Roman was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And he was a bit of a driver there. He was even being considered for a Ferrari drive.
He wasn't he? Yeah.
But I don't know.
He would have taken over from Raikkonen, but then Leclerc came into the sport.
I don't know what happened to him, right? I know he's got kids, but then quite a few of them have got kids.
He's leaving F1. He hasn't signed a deal with anybody else, obviously, because he's been let go by Haas. There's nowhere else to go. So he's leaving F1, same as Magnussen. But the question is, I was thinking World Endurance or maybe IndyCar, as you said, with Simon Pagenaud.
Yeah. The thing is that IndyCar is always open nowadays to Formula 1 drivers because in the last few years, minor Formula 1 drivers have gone over there, as well as established Formula 1 drivers like Sato, and done really well.
Dominated, yeah.
And so the teams are, whereas before they used to think, oh, well, come over and prove it in something else like NASCAR or something like that, and then we'll think about it.
And
I know what his mother was texting.
Oh dear. Well, yeah. And I must apologise. Yeah. Just to keep talking.
Oh no, it is there.
Keep talking.
Well, as you can see, Roman Grosjean. Grosjean there, and there's the Vettel's car. Looks like he's getting the wheels off, having a little shine. So he's not really interested, is he? Let's have a look. Leclerc there. Number 5 is not Leclerc.
Sorry,
He's
it
gone
was
purple in 2 sectors. Though.
Yeah, it was the issue with her mobile, and then we had issues as well going on with something with phone Bluetooth. So we're back okay going forward. They were on an ad break, but what did you say? What were you saying? You were saying about the times, weren't you?
They're just taking the tyres off, so he doesn't seem interested about doing anything for the next 15 minutes.
Yeah, so everyone's... Say again.
Do some work on the brakes there for Vettel.
Yeah, right. Just mute you for a second as I go through the order. Sorry, say again.
What they were doing this morning with the brakes was it's quite cooler there than
it is
they
cooler,
expected. Yeah. And so they got this situation this morning where they're having to use gaffer tape and then cut holes in the gaffer tape.
Yeah, to try and heat the brakes.
Try and heat the brakes up a bit more.
That was Haas doing that, wasn't it, with Magnussen and Grosjean? And that was unusual to see them having to do that, but it was track temperature, 16
It's amazing how the old tricks of Formula One are still working for these multi-million-pound cars.
It's fantastic, isn't it, to see that anything, the old
gaffer
change.
Gaffer tape, what, $5?
Yeah, $5 from the shop.
Still an important part of Formula One.
Well, even gaffer tape, I've seen people using the plastic hits as well on the circuits to try and readjust my headset. Look at that. Last time Mum comes in the commentary box, I could tell you. So we are in with 1 minute 30 seconds, 0.82 for Albon. Oh, you did press it then. Followed by Leclerc in second place, 131.54 row. Verstappen third, Bottas fourth, Hamilton fifth. But if I look at my monitor over here, they've just gone back out on the track, and I think Hamilton's now changed to soft compounds. Oh, it's Latifi. It's Latifi who's changed to soft tyres. Okay. Going further down as well, we've got Perez, Raikkonen, Stroll, Vettel, and Sainz rounding out the top 10, as you can see on your screen as well. Magnussen, Kvyat, Ricciardo, Gasly, Russell to 15th, Grosjean, Giovinazzi, Ocon, Norris, and Latifi, who's on a lap now and is just coming through the last couple of corners as far as my monitor is showing. I can't see him on the computer, but surely he's there somewhere. I can't see him. Oh, there he is, just behind Danny Kvyat, coming across the line now. So Kvyat will cross the line and doesn't improve on his time, but Latifi jumps up into 18th place, a 1:44.757 for him, and that's a much better time.
Of course it is.
I'm looking forward to seeing Leclerc as well, who's just come out on a new set of mediums now. Ferrari seem to be responding and seem to be going a lot quicker at the moment, which is great news.
Ocon seems to have lost his mojo.
Yeah, well, we saw a couple of races ago, didn't we? He wasn't exactly lively enough. And I think, what was it, Portugal? We had the issue there where it was confusing for everyone. I've just knocked my mic, sorry. I've got the key. I've got it. Right. Just saying I've got the keys. My lovely keys in the commentary box. As they,
Davey.
Yeah, as they go out and leave us in control. As we see, we've still got no pictures though, because Sky have gone for an ad break, so we're relying on the other monitors.
We've got the
screens.
other monitors, and and we know where everyone is.
Grosjean has had another accident at turn 7. He's just had to come back on now, so that's unusual.
These transponders aren't working properly because Perez just jumped and then went in the pits, according to that.
Yeah, so
now
Raikkonen's got the pitch. Yeah, this is
leaving Hamilton and Gasly are in so much space.
We're watching Gasly now. We're back with him. He's just coming up towards turn 4 on the same screen.
You should get a nice little lap in with nobody around you now, Lewis and Pierre.
Well, Lewis is in 5th place at the moment, is looking to improve. Turn 9, though, a 4th gear corner, 150 kilometres an hour. This is the chicane area we were on about in free practice 1. We were seeing a lot of spins for Verstappen. And it's a tricky little one because it's after, as you said, it's after the long turn 8 sweep on the neck.
On the neck.
And then you've got to do it again.
And to get to the turn 8, you have to go through 3, 4, 5, and 6. And they're backwards and like an S.
Yeah, and it really sort of disorientates you.
Then you go uphill and turn massively left, and that's what's giving these G's on the neck, which is pushing the neck to the right.
And it's making everyone feel a bit sick. I think you can see it, can't you?
And you can honestly see a wobble with some of the drivers as they get to about there.
Mid corner before they flick into turn 10 to the
9
left.
and 10 this
right,
one.
Yeah. As we see Martin
So
Brundle.
they come down 8, and they have this thing with the neck, and by the time they're going through 9 and 10, they're disorientated a slight amount.
Verstappen just going through. He spun at the end of free practice 1, as you said. Christian Horner wasn't happy with that one. Here comes Danny Kvyat coming through. He's got Latifi and Albon just behind him in quite close company. Yep, Latifi's looking good. Let's have a look at Albon.
The
in the
good
second
thing about
level.
turn 9 and turn 8 are the fact that it increases the temperature in the brakes, and it also increases the temperature in the tyres. And the problem with when the approach of turn 8 is you lose the downforce as you hit the bottom of the hill.
And I think it's been a bit of an interesting one, hasn't it? Because the drivers have never... only 5 drivers have raced here.
It's affecting the line at turn 8, which people are taking.
Only 5 drivers have ever raced here before.
If you'd approached that with not coming downhill...
Yeah. Grosjean raced here in GP2.
You would have taken it on a totally different line.
Yeah. Grosjean has raced here before. He raced here in GP2 at the time in 2011.
Valtteri GP3.
Yeah, Valtteri GP3, was it? Yeah, because he came in 20... Yeah, so Valtteri raced here GP3 back in 2011. Back in those days, of course, it was BBC F1 who was the main broadcaster in the UK. Sky hadn't even come in.
And I would tap you on the shoulder, dear boy.
Oh, yes, James. And Megan wasn't even commentating at that point. She joined the year later, so Megan's never seen Turkey, I don't think. She might have seen a bit of it, but yeah, Megan didn't start commentating until 2012.
James would say something like, Murray, do you think that this afternoon's race will be a bit of a delight? Do you think we're in for a Turkish delight?
Oh, are you gonna? Well, you're in the box all weekend by FP3, so you'll be saying all that, won't you? So you'll be going for that. Do you think Hamilton can win the title this weekend? I haven't asked you that question so far this weekend. As he goes second,
it's a defining moment because anything, and I hope it never does happen to Lewis's car, and that I actually hope that we get the Magnums this weekend.
Oh God, yeah, I've got to buy them.
Yeah. We always have a Magnum when Lewis wins the championship.
Or anybody, because we started that a couple of years ago, and Rosberg had them.
It's so long, I just think it's Lewis.
It's been so long, it may as well just be Lewis.
We had them for Nico.
We had them for Nico, yeah.
And Sebastian.
Did we have them when Sebastian was there?
I don't know.
2 seconds. Kvyat, the brakes are bleeping gone. I just did 1 corner slow and everything is gone. So Kvyat's got no brakes in the AlphaTauri.
It's coldness.
Yeah, no tyres, no temperature in them. What I'm left. Kvyat had his lap time deleted. Track limits at turn 1, so his own lap time's gone.
If you got in a Formula 1 car and pressed the brake, you would realise how strong the legs of these lads have to be. It's a bit like when cars didn't have power steering.
Yeah.
And you really had to be driving to turn the wheel.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's why cars used to have much bigger wheels, because
turning circle was massive.
Yeah. Well, you had to drag on it.
Yeah.
And it's if you got in a cold Formula 1 car with cold brakes, then you could literally put both feet on the brake pedal and hardly move.
Yeah. So the brakes just
and yet these guys, once they get motor in, they find the strength to press these brakes so hard that sometimes, and that's the delicacy of each driver, and what makes one driver better than another is that is one of the reasons, because especially with this brake-by-wire system, that they have a brake bias now that you can put more emphasis on the front or the rears. And so it's like a game of chess. Not only have you got the different types of driver driving different ways, right, but the cars can be set up, even if they're identical, the cars can be set up in a number of ways that you would never... These people that are calling for one, like a Toka engine, like in British touring cars.
One set
of everything.
It won't work.
It wouldn't work because you have that in Formula E, don't you?
Yeah, Formula E pretty much same
and
set of cars.
It's all about the setups.
Right? F2.
Long
setups,
brake pedal, short brake pedal, and
there's so many other variables like batteries. And
the setup of the wings and that. Although they're all the same, you can adjust them to the different heights.
And it's going to be so interesting to see.
I think with Formula E as well, in the last year or so, they've named 4 things that they can actually change on the car.
battery they can change twice a season. I think now, because it's just condensed season. They can't change tires that much. The 2 sets of tires for the whole weekend.
This is my argument with electric cars, right? You've got to get longevity for the battery.
Yeah.
Right. You can go out there. You yesterday saw a lovely American car.
Oh yeah, the Imperial Chrysler.
Chrysler Imperial. Was it an Impala or was it an Imperial?
I think it was Imperial.
Yeah, definitely early 60s with the wings up.
Really long one, yeah.
Really long and really wide, right? That survived because it works.
Yeah.
Now, if you had to change the batteries every 8 years at the cost of thousands of quid,
it wouldn't work.
You wouldn't get people saving cars like that.
And that's the thing. I don't think. Are you seriously telling me that people are going to save electric cars like the Nissan Leaf? No, they're not, are they?
Also, in Germany, for the last 20 years, they've slowly upped the things so that everything is recyclable on the cars, which means that people don't have the respect for them that they used to.
Yeah, because they just throw it away.
You have to be a collector, don't you, nowadays?
Yeah, this water bottle here, I was doing some Googling on it. I can't remember where we got it from. But it's made of recycled material.
Yeah.
Because it's a reusable one. So things like that, exactly what did that used to be? Is that part of a car in any shape or form? Because they can bleach the plastic.
The washing
on it
machine
as well.
is usually made from old cars.
Yeah.
Even your toilet rolls are made from old newspaper and paper that is discarded and recycled. Yeah.
Well, look at the computer.
Try a little trick with your put into the toilet. Put some toilet roll. Use 2 or 3 sheets of toilet roll. Right, and then get some hot water and pour it on them, and you will be amazed. They disappear.
Do they? Oh.
Yeah.
There's a science experiment for you all to do.
Pour enough on them. They are designed because of the recycled paper to dissolve into the water. And then when it's to the clearing plant, they can recover it.
Filter it back. Oh, wow.
Cover the paper.
Brilliant. See, that's the thing you've got to think about. It's very much biodegradable. That's the term, isn't it?
Otherwise, it's also designed to make sure that your pipes don't block up with toilet paper.
I just prefer if our sink
when I was little, there was Izal.
What's Izal? Well, let you clear your throat. What was Izal?
Izal was medicated toilet paper, and it was like grease-proof paper.
Oh my word!
Yeah.
Ugh. Well, actually, we've got some grease-proof. If I can reach back behind the curtain, here we go. Look, some fabric stuff that was grease-proof. That's baking tray stuff.
Yeah.
There you are. That's pretty much. Is that similar in any way?
A lot lighter than that, but the texture's the same.
Lighter, but the texture's the same. It's fabric. I just pop.
Mind you, when I were young, you cut up newspaper into squares and put it on a bit of string in an outside toilet.
One of my favourite scenes of, what was it, in Sickness and in Health?
Alf Garnett.
Alf Garnett during the Second World War. The air raid started. Yeah. He had no toilet paper, so he was looking down, and there's a picture of Adolf Hitler in the newspaper, and he smiles to the camera. That was a fantastic episode. That was a fantastic movie, that one.
See, Alf got away with the things he said because he was Jewish in real life.
But the thing is, that's the point that not many people get as well.
He had people understood that he had a reason to hate Hitler more than other people hated him.
And everyone was.
I don't know anybody who liked Hitler. Do you?
No. But I know that everybody.
That's because I wouldn't want to know anybody who liked Hitler.
Everybody said, "Well, why is Alf Garnett still around today?" It's for the fact is that we're not laughing with Alf Garnett. We're laughing at Alf Garnett. Yeah, which is why Fawlty Towers works so much. Because we were laughing at Basil, not with him, and that's the thing. With the Americans.
What?
Do you remember when Fawlty Towers was sold to America? They couldn't make it work, and they removed one character to make it work. Who was it? You're going to say you probably know. It wasn't Emmanuel. It wasn't Sybil. No. Do you know
Manuel?
Manuel. Whatever. Do you know who it was?
Emmanuel was a totally different sort of thing.
Do you know who they got rid of to make Fawlty Towers work in America? Basil.
They
got rid of Basil Fawlty.
The main character.
The main character.
Although
they show,
they show Fawlty Towers uncut in Germany and in America on PBS, and they used to show it, but they did used to show it on. I think it was ABC or
one of those two. Yeah. It was so just back to the. I can't remember how we got onto that. I think it was
Albon top 138.72.
Albon
Lewis
top.
behind him. Verstappen behind him, Leclerc behind him, cheating. I mean, so legitimately there.
Well, how are Ferrari this quick? I don't know because
I saw a lad. I
saw
one of the guys with a lamp because it's Turkey, and he was rubbing it like that. Then there was a puff of smoke.
A
genie came out, and all of a sudden they're working. The Ferraris are working.
I don't think Robin Williams could do anything to make that Ferrari work, no matter how hard he tried.
You remember, this is the land of
around here, isn't it? Somewhere around. Megan would know.
Oh yeah, I mean Baghdad is actually where Ali Baba came from. Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves.
Megan,
that story is Baghdad.
Megan would know immediately.
It's all around that area, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, the reason there is we come into a country where they are actually at war.
Yeah, this is the first time I think Formula One's been in a
country that's
at war.
It's nowhere near this way. This racetrack is just outside Istanbul.
Yeah, it's the intercity.
It's about
Istanbul
29
circuit,
miles outside Istanbul. Nowhere near the fighting.
And it's on complete lockdown as well. This track as well. So
it's the northern part with Syria that it's actually where the fighting is, because the Taliban tried to take large parts of the northern territory and southern parts of Syria, didn't they?
Just having some wind outside.
I hope it's wind.
It sounds like wind. I felt a big breeze of wind come through as well. It's probably the flying carpet.
Why are we getting political?
I don't know. Well, we're going to have to talk political as well. Well, I will talk political more.
What do you think of the 2020 calendar?
Yeah, let's keep on the political. And let's add in the fact is that we're racing in Saudi Arabia. We touched on it in this morning, Free Practice 1. But there's been a lot of people complaining, saying, why are we trying to motor wash?
Sport Jaguar,
yeah,
we have a lady racing. And isn't she Saudi Arabia?
She is, yes, in the Jaguar I-Pace series.
Which is good because until a few years ago, about 2 years ago, women couldn't drive in Saudi Arabia.
I'm really hoping that W Series races there, because W Series has joined the F1 support bill.
Formula One under Bernie refused to go to those sort of countries until women were allowed to drive. He thought it was wrong, and good on him.
Probably the only thing that Bernie agreed to do, because he did deals with Bahrain when they were in the middle of a war in 2004.
Bahrain have just lost their prime minister, haven't they?
Yes, they have. Yeah.
Longest serving prime minister anywhere in the world. Right? He's been for donkey's years.
Yeah, he's been there.
He has been. He's like the Crown Prince, who is a friend of Martin Brundle.
Yeah.
Martin Brundle.
He spent a lot of time in England. The Crown Prince.
The Crown Prince speaks perfect English.
Yeah,
and they have always pushed him, and the Prime Minister have always pushed for Formula One,
and they've got it. And Leclerc on the radio. The softs are so bad. I mean, they grain so quickly. Oh, smoke from the back of Ocon's car.
Yeah.
Coming up through the back of 10-11. Now, it was just a little puff, wasn't it?
Yeah, was that brakes?
I don't know, because it's a flat-out part of the course, so I don't think it would be
Gone
brakes.
are the days where you used to see a side view of a car.
It's a helicopter that was the noise.
And the brakes were glowing.
Yeah.
We had that in the dark recently.
Yeah, I can't remember. What, have we had a night race this year?
Not with this, but with other, and something else.
British touring car, when in Snetterton, they ran into the dark, didn't they?
They ran into the dark, and
we saw the brake discs.
Even on the touring cars, you saw the red hot brake discs glowing.
Oh, I know.
You used to see this in Formula One all the time.
It's the bin men, of course it is. Yeah.
It's Friday.
It's Friday. I was just thinking, because we were just hearing outside the commentary box loads of machinery and things moving around. I just thought it's the bin man. It's the bin man. Isn't that nice? Maybe we can get them in on the stream. What do you think about the 2020 F1 calendar? To continue with that, Saudi Arabia, as we said, dealing with that. Many people aren't happy with going. I think it's
Turkey
good.
may be the to be announced one.
Yeah,
after,
Turkey.
Vietnam pulled out.
I think it's very likely we'll see Turkey on the calendar again next year. I think they've tried to. They've just relayed the circuit. I know Portugal did as well.
I think we'll see Turkey on the calendar at least twice later on this year. Thanksgiving,
and Christmas.
Then again at Easter. Because Bernard Matthews had this great idea in this country that Turkey's not only for Christmas. So a lot of people have turkey when they get together at Easter now.
Leclerc goes top, 1:37.51. Now, where did that lap time come out? In fact, even more so, where did the lap time come from Nicholas Latifi? He's gone to 7th fastest in the Williams, a 1:33.488. He must have been towing someone. No, he wasn't. He was on his own.
Me and your mother met on Christmas Eve, so we always have beef on Christmas Eve and turkey on Christmas Day.
Yes.
Full dinners, full dinner at the night time on Christmas Eve.
I know. Think about
Christmas Day.
If you think about it, there we have a full dinner Christmas Eve.
Now you know
Christmas
why
Day.
Joshua looks like that.
I have a full dinner again on Boxing Day because I have all the leftovers that was left over from Christmas Day. Then Mum makes a soup for the day after Boxing
Mum
Day.
makes great turkey and chicken soups.
I cannot believe how much we stuff our faces full. And then we've only got 2 more days to go.
You do, I don't.
Yeah, but then we have a New Year's Eve buffet. And then we have a New Year's Day meal, which again is, I think, beef, or was it lamb last year? I can't remember. I didn't eat the meat, I don't think. I think I had chicken.
I think it was beef.
I think it was beef as well.
Because we traditionally buy a large bit of
cut
beef
it in half,
and cut
yeah.
it in half. One for the...
Because there's not actually that many of us who eat beef, is it? It's just me. It's me. In fact, it's only David and Jack who don't eat the beef. Although I think David's trying it this year. Or turkey, I'm not sure. But down in turn 12, we're going to next, 85 kilometres an hour and 3rd gear corner. This is the long straightaway braking zone where we've seen many a collision over the years, especially the 2 Red Bulls coming together in 2010.
Martin's had a lockdown haircut.
I don't know, I wish I had. My hair's got massive at the moment. We don't have time to cut it this weekend. So I think we'll be ready for the next race in Bahrain, the last 3.
My haircut, 2 to the left and 1 to the right.
Oh, man. Have you actually had your haircut? Look, yeah, you have, haven't you? It's different since last time you were on here in
I had it about a week and a bit ago.
Yeah, so just 2 weeks since Imola. So
Your mum does it.
It's changed since Imola.
She goes, sit on this chair.
Yeah,
Done.
she's got quite good.
And
with
you
that.
have been.
She's got that.
That'll be £8.
She's quite good. She's got quite good with that electric trimmer.
And I say, see the wife, she'll pay.
I don't know, but if you look up there, you can see. Oh, you can't, can you? The camera's blocking it. But there's a massive chainsaw that they use on the trees in the front, and I'm not going to mention that. That's exactly what Mum brought out the first time she said that she's going to do it. So we've got 47 minutes remaining of this session. A lot of cars still on the track. This is turning into the more interesting session of the 2 today. So maybe we'll just have. Maybe if we get rid of FP1 or shorten FP1. Maybe what if we have an hour? FP1 1 hour for FP1 and FP2, half an hour for FP3, and then the qualifying the race. You just pull out a 90-minute session. Pull out 90 minutes out of the 3.5 hours
change
session.
something that's working?
But is it working now? Because it's so much practice time.
Yes, because we've just had this conversation. We've just had the fact that practice 1 is for getting used to the track.
Oh no, but
practice 2 and 3 are for solving the problems you found in practice 1.
So why does practice 1 have to be so long? Why is it 90 minutes? Why is practice 2 90 minutes? Why do we need that time zone?
MotoGP have 4 practices.
Yes, but they have it 45 minutes for FP1, 2 and 3, 30 minutes FP4.
Touring cars just have 1 practice.
At the moment, yeah, because of the weather. And that's another factor as well. This weekend is very much rammed together with sports.
This myth about cutting costs.
Yeah.
Right? They'll just find a way of doing it with spending the same money.
They'll do it again, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. They've used split screen. Celebrating his 21st birthday today, finished 3rd at the 2020 Austrian Grand Prix, becoming the 3rd youngest driver at 20 years, 7 months and 22 days to finish on the podium. Lando Norris.
Lando Norris has this way of opening champagne. He bangs it on the floor.
And
smashed it completely.
He did last time we tried it. And who else did it on the
Somebody else didn't cut the finger.
Oh, who was it? Was it Thomas Luthi, I want to say? In Moto 2. I'm not. That was back at Andalusia Grand Prix. Lap time deleted for Vettel, turn 1, and Albon, turn 1. So they've lost their times. Signs on the radio, the front right is ripping apart.
I said this morning.
Yeah.
I said this, that the front right is not as bad as the front left. Front left was terrible on the left-hand carcass.
Yeah.
And the inside edge, you can see it there, of the front right is getting a lot of beading on it. They have adjusted that since this morning because it was obviously a camber setup problem. And now you've got this situation where
It's bizarre. isn't it? What was that? Russell 9th, Latifi 10th, Sainz just gone 8th. The tyres playing a factor.
I'm just watching it as it goes, so you get a good view.
Yeah. Oh, we cut away.
The
balloons.
Balloons this morning coming in. Jessica.
Yep. And Hannah as well, bringing them all in, and the cake delivered on to Lando Norris for his 21st birthday. I hate to scare anybody, but if you look at the timing monitor that's on the monitor as well, you might be able to see that it's a Ferrari 1-2. Truly, it is Friday the 13th as the unthinkable has happened. Ferrari
Albon
1-2.
is purple in sectors 1 and 2.
Yeah, you might get this one, Ocon's just had his lap time deleted as well. Stop the count. Will Buxton just said stop the count because it's Ferrari 1-2. I agree with him there.
The things Buxton will do to get his own personal Ferrari.
It's 1-2. But it's not going to be for much longer because here comes Alexander Albon
Look
out
at
of
it
the
this
last
way,
corner.
Will. Right, how many of your kids can you fit in a Ferrari?
He's only got one.
Exactly,
Yeah,
but it's a 2-seater, isn't it?
A good point. I think
Him and his wife, and where's the kid in the boot?
I think Victoria might be a bit angry about that one. Or Vicky, actually, I should say. 1:29.627 for Albon, goes fastest with 40 minutes to go.
There is that Ferrari that is like a.
Oh, the really hatchback one. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like a.
Isn't it electric?
No, there is a Ferrari that is like an SUV.
I've seen it. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but I know.
Chimera.
That rings a bell. Yeah, it must be. Leclerc 1:29.824 goes second fastest, so improves, but Albon's beginning to go faster. George Russell in 10th place is 2.001 off the pace at the moment as Grosjean's 11th.
Norris has had too much birthday cake.
Where is he?
17th.
Oh yeah, he's a bit way down.
Mind you, Ricciardo and Ocon are down there as well. They haven't done really. They've been off the pace all morning. 5 laps,
7 laps, and Norris is on hards as well on 12, so he's not competitive.
Russell just up to 9th.
That's impressive. 1:32.302. Verstappen.
Latifi is in 13th.
And he's dropped down the order because I think Kvyat goes 5th, drops in further down, but Verstappen's gone 3rd. 1:29.941. Kvyat does a 1:31.366 at the moment, so the time's improving on the order. As well.
Have you noticed we're not talking about where people are going at all?
Yeah, it's where they're all coming up as well.
Ferrari doesn't look that bad for now. Yeah, we want to know what's going on.
Yeah, what has happened at Ferrari to suddenly change
Hopefully, these things are working. We think it's the changing the downforce on this track is suiting them.
They changed the rear wing of Vettel's car in FP1 this morning as well.
Yeah, to give it a different set of downforce.
Yeah, and they're on the soft tyres. But look, that Ferrari doesn't look like it's moving around compared to, say, a Mercedes that we see Hamilton having to fight around. And somehow the Ferraris are coming alive at this track. So, yeah, this is looking very promising.
All this could be propaganda.
Yeah, look.
This all could be fake news.
Here's Bottas, look how much he was sliding through turn 7. Here's turn 8. Does he slide at all? Yes, the car's...
They never did any long runs this morning. How are they doing this morning on the runs? This afternoon.
Leclerc's done 10 laps so far. Vettel's done 11, and they're still setting the faster lap time. So on the long runs, Ferrari looks strong with fuel full.
Good. Let's hope they have found their problems and solved the incidents that have caused them to have many disappointing Saturdays and Sundays in the last few months.
Over a year, if you think about it, because they haven't won a race in Singapore.
Well, but that's because they were cheating up until then.
Yeah, and they got taken away with the oil.
It's all to do with the oil burning. And again, they'd been done 2 years before for the same
They did, didn't
thing.
they? Yeah. And they still got caught because it got 2017 because that's what happened with Raikkonen and Vettel at Malaysia. They got taken off the grid. Lap time deleted for Gasly. Track limits and for Giovinazzi. Perez goes to 7th. Gasly, though, coming across the line now to set a new time and goes 5th on a 1:39.67. I must admit, though, if Ferrari win on Sunday, I might just be a little bit over-dramatic. Ferrari 1-2 could be a possibility. I think that'd be good for Formula 1 as well. And it'd be good for the mentality of the team.
Well, it is Friday the 13th and you're in the land of genies.
Yeah, anything can happen. Oh, that's Giovinazzi getting a bit too close to Hamilton. To Bottas. It's Bottas, yeah. The helmets look the same from this angle because Bottas has gone to a black helmet on the top as well, so you can't see it above the halo. But Bottas and Giovinazzi getting a bit too close for comfort as well. And Ryberson says maybe next year we'll see them on the podium more frequently. I think that was Ferrari. I think we could. There's a possibility. If they can get this car fixed, it's the same car for next year. as everything's been locked down because of COVID. We've only used these cars for 6 months, really, so they want to use them more. So this is looking quite good. Ferrari challenging for a title, maybe. Or is that a bit too early to say?
I'm just avoiding that pig.
I knew you were thinking pigs flying.
Pigs were flying.
I knew that's what you were thinking. Kvyat goes to 6th fastest and jumps. No, stays 6th actually. Doesn't improve on position, just time, and gets that lap time deleted as well.
I'd say I'd eat my hat, but my hat is made of cake.
Oh, eat your hat then. Do you need a drink?
I'm full. No, I'm not having your drink.
It's only apple juice.
I know what it is.
And that across the track is one of the racing points. I think it's Sergio Perez. Sure?
No, not apple juice.
Right. You used to have the Queen's apple juice. What's happened to you?
Oh, yes.
Perez down to turn 1. This was on about at the start of the race. A little lock-up and you straight off the track.
Her Majesty the Queen at Sandringham has orchards of about 6 or 7 different apples. And she doesn't do it personally.
Yeah, but not personally, but yeah.
You know, squash these apples, Philip. I'm treading it as fast as I can. Get over it.
Using the canes.
You do it. I'll drain it and bottle it.
I'll tell you
then
what.
Sell it to that Joshua for his mum for Christmas.
I'd have it a million times. It's wonderful apple juice. And I tell you what, somebody else.
Yeah, I've had it. I tell you, on a nice hot day in Hunstanton or Sandringham itself, you know.
Yeah.
A nice drink of apple juice is really refreshing.
Really cold as well. Also, somebody who is currently on the F1 broadcast that would probably know that would be Martin Brundle.
And one of the drivers.
Oh, which, of course.
George Russell.
I was going to say George Russell.
He's also from a certain place.
Thing is, though, George could have been at the flower show. And we might not have passed.
You might have been sat next to him.
Who knows?
Whilst with Sarah Chatto's kids watching
the Punch and Judy.
Punch and Judy.
We did bring
that up Joshua is as posh as he looks.
Yes, I missed the Sandringham Flower Show. They haven't done it in a couple of years, but I think they're bringing it back
I love
next
the fact
year.
that you see police officers walking around with little plastic bags with little trees in them.
Yeah.
You know, that they bought from one of the stalls or a large plant.
Isn't that where we got one of the trees out in the front? Because there's only 2 trees and then we got a third, didn't we?
Oh, the third came from out where the rockets are.
Oh, right.
What do you call them? The King... Curtin Lindsay.
Ah, okay. I do remember, though...
The Rocket Battalion are out there.
I seem to remember, though, coming back from Duxford with quite a lot of items. And that was... not all of them were mine.
We bought your mum a lovely picture of...
Spitfire.
Spitfire and a Hurricane and a Lancaster. From there.
Sebastian Vettel just locked up massively down in towards turn 12 and completely flat spotted the front tyres. I want
to see how much he's left of that tyre.
Yeah. Did you see the little black bits?
Oh.
Nothing. And he's locked it again. Look, it went round. He's locked it second time.
Possibly nearly in about the same place.
Yeah, and
he's going to need a new tyre.
I think he's coming to the pit lane as Raikkonen nearly goes off the track. Now, I'm just trying to work out. Raikkonen won the first race in 2005, but he didn't race here in 10 or 11 because he wasn't in Formula 1 at that point. So he's raced here 2 times less than everybody else. I think he might actually be equal with the rest of the field who's raced here. I'm just trying to work out. Vettel's raced here 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think Vettel's the oldest on the grid.
For those of you who don't know what the Sandringham Flower Show is, each year in July, or it's always in July, isn't it? Yeah.
July or September?
It's usually July, right?
It flicked one year, didn't
the Queen has a country fair at Sandringham House in Norfolk.
Verstappen goes top 128.984.
You see... Obviously, you see display teams there. You even saw one of that big rocket car.
Oh, the land speed record car. Yeah,
yeah, that was there. And you get displays from all sorts of different things. You get the monster trucks and things like that. You get people fired from cannons.
It was really bizarre, wasn't it?
Everything. He was going to say no to the Queen. I want this.
Yeah.
You know.
I think
would you like to do this for me?
I think Her Majesty might just be a bit of a speed freak.
I'd love to do it, but you know,
yeah.
I've often wanted to fire the wife out of a cannon.
Look at that! It would nobody in front of him, no one behind, on pure pace. Leclerc tops.
1:28.731.
That is a fantastic time. He's 2.5 tenths faster than Verstappen. Hamilton could only manage fourth, and Red Bull and Ferrari seem to be edging closer over Mercedes by over a second.
Is he like this all the time? Yes, unfortunately, Your Majesty. Yeah.
Grosjean's had his lap time deleted for track limits at turn 1.
He sounds like Andrew. He goes on a bit as well, doesn't he? We're not allowed to talk about that.
I was about to say.
Not allowed to talk about that.
Sainz back in the pit lane. Oh, left mirror's broken on Carlos Sainz.
Yeah, he's very popular because he's always in the papers.
Not for the good reasons.
Yeah.
Carlos Sainz at the moment has had a left mirror broke. Oh, it is Friday the 13th. And there's a mirror broken.
And he's broke his mirror.
That's probably the
and
worst
he's going
time.
to Ferrari. So, Riberson, next year, remember, he's just broke a mirror on Friday the 13th.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
Well, that was Ferrari's
You're going
gone.
to need divine intervention from the Pope to get this one back.
Well, here comes Lance Stroll, fastest sector 1 and 2 with a personal
I think this
best.
Pope's lovely. He's a nice bloke.
I like the new Pope.
Yeah, he reminds me of the popes I had when I was little.
Across the line then comes Sergio Perez. So Lance Stroll goes from 20th up to 9th on a 1:31.281. Lol, says Viberism. Yeah, that's going to be the factor, isn't it? Verstappen has had his lap time deleted for track limits at turn 6. Oh, it's his in-lap. It's okay.
Yes, he's in-lap.
It's the 1:51 he was, so he's his in-lap. Grosjean's
That's because he went out to McDonald's and drove through the drive-through.
There is a lot of McDonald's here in Turkey, actually, surprisingly.
Really?
They don't sell the meat burger, though. I don't think. I think it's the vegetarian options and chicken. I think there's quite a lot of them. But I saw one of the F1 people was out at one this morning.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, for breakfast.
What when there's all this free grub at McLaren Hospitality?
Oh, the cake and the.
Mind you, having said that,
they can't go there.
Right. Having said that, right, there was this year at this race there are a lot of them are tents. The hospitality. Cooking units are here.
Oh, you can't cook in a cake.
But you have to eat in a tent.
That's a bit bizarre. Then again, that's quite
bizarre.
That is quite similar to how the British GT Championship does it. They were all tents
when
we went.
Racing Point were about and their predecessor, the most popular unit producing food in the paddock was their hospitality, which produced different curries.
Yes.
Vegetarian.
Oh, fantastic.
Meat curries.
Yeah. Well, that was they were still doing them when I was at pre-season testing, and every time you walked by the Racing Point Hospitality, you could just smell the curry coming up. It was fantastic. It made me very hungry though because I was working, so I couldn't actually do it.
McLaren are famous for their breakfasts.
Oh, McLaren! Yeah, the amount of people. Even I saw Gunter Steiner coming out on the last day of testing. I was there because he flew in for the last day. Came out with McLaren coffee cups.
McLaren used to have their own pub.
They did, didn't they?
A bar.
Yeah.
They built it for
Jensen, wasn't it?
Jensen.
Leaving. Or was it Jensen's 200th Grand Prix or 200th Grand Prix, something like that?
The strangest thing, we was on the M11 once.
The button stop, I think it's called.
We were on the M11 once on the way to Duxford, and I just turned around to this lot and said, I don't know about you, but we're behind a pub. It's travelling at 70 mile an hour, the same as us. And sure enough, there was a pub in front of us on the back of a lorry.
One of those portable ones, yeah.
And it was actually going to Duxford, and we saw them setting it up.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like the Formula One. It comes out. So
it's
and
bigger,
just looks. So in the middle of Duxford, you got this building that looked like a country pub.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
I can't believe there's no. I know people have filmed things at Duxford before, but I can't believe they haven't.
If you're going to do country pubs, then Heineken can do the best country pub.
Sponsorship, is it?
Getting near Christmas, they need lager.
Well, Heineken do sponsor half the Formula One.
Yeah, I know. They could sponsor us as well. Lager.
Just seeing how a nature program documentary going on here at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know if half of them are killing them or half of them doing something else that we can't broadcast at this time of day, but I don't know what's going on here. Wasps, a bee's diary.
I don't mean the football. Oh, that was cute.
That was a nice one. Oh, look, monkeys. We've got, as you can probably tell,
and
we've
bears.
got bears. Yeah, we've got no coverage of it. Sky F1, our broadcast has gone for a break.
You just saw a eagle
swoop in and get a fish.
No, you say fish get fishing. You can't say got a fish.
Get fishing, then I go and film them. We're back on now, I believe, with Sky F1 finally, so we get our pictures back and we can update you. I think Hamilton's jumped to third, 1:29.274, which is a better time as Verstappen comes into the pit lane. How angry must he be, especially after this morning as well, because he was.
Why is he looking in his
everyone.
mirrors while reversing when he's actually on a trolley?
Must be
dolly?
habit. Must be habit. There's Adrian Newey watching
I
on.
didn't think Max ever looked in his mirrors.
It wouldn't be surprised me. Yesterday it was 2 years ago since Ocon took. Sorry about that.
We'd like to apologise for the loss of Joshua's voice.
My voice just went there. But yeah, yesterday was 2 years
I
since.
didn't apologise. Shut up, Queen.
Yesterday was the 2 years to the day since.
You agreed to let Queen Elizabeth sit there, and she keeps interrupting. I didn't, honestly.
Put the new headset on, shall
yes, I'll have a go at that. Philip, yes, what's the matter?
Just don't get Prince Charles doing the weather.
He's slower than his father and talks like this.
I don't actually know. Do you remember this morning that we had the raining trackside?
Yes, I understand.
It came up on the monitor. No idea what was raining.
No idea.
What was I talking? Yeah, okay.
Oh, I don't know what you were talking about.
2 years ago yesterday.
If you Prince Charles, you just repeat comically. Repeat everything anyone's saying to you.
It was 2 years ago yesterday.
2 years ago yesterday, yes.
Since Verstappen got taken off by Ocon.
Ocon. Oh, yes.
Do you remember? And he pushed him off the way.
And you see how Prince Charles does it now. Yeah, you think he's listening, he's not. He's just listening to what you say and then just repeating it.
Yeah, exactly. It's very clever. Work going on, Daniel Ricciardo. He's broken part of the barge board on the side of the car.
Oh yeah.
One of the Euro. They're having to replace it, and that's not tricky. That's tricky because it's connected to the floor these days.
The barge board's connected to the thin bone.
You would never be able to say what you want to say. No, I know.
What?
Sometimes
he goes off on tangents, and I don't understand what he's talking about.
Honestly. Well, Megan's in the commentary box tomorrow for free practice 3. She's not happy.
Megan.
She's not happy about it because of the very early start.
Well, this one's going to be finished before she gets home from school.
I know, it's very strange that we've done a complete day of practice this early. It feels like it's a night race. Actually,
we started this morning before she'd actually gone to school.
Yeah, so she could have actually come in. Oh, it's Children in Need tonight. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
where did you get that from?
I just got a message on the dashboard.
So why do you think Pudsey was at the McLaren thing yesterday?
I thought Children in Need was next weekend. It's a bit early, isn't it?
No, tonight. But it's there's a situation. There is no musicals.
Of course there isn't, because they can't do it.
So it's not on after 10:30.
Oh, is it a collage of?
No, it's actually they're doing the show, as best with COVID rules, between 7 and 10.
Oh, okay.
But you used to come back at 10:30
for the later show.
Go to BBC 2 for 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Then 10:30 back onto BBC 1, and all the people from the musicals used to come and do a couple of numbers.
Oh, right.
And that was what the second half was, plus Vernon Kay.
Oh, I know who you mean.
The one out of Top Gear and
Paddy
McGuinness and somebody else and Keith Lemon and people like that
would all be on, yeah.
Would come on and do the bit when the kids are home from the nightclubs.
Yes.
Just before they're finished, the last hour.
Oh, well, I didn't know. I forgot it was. I thought it's on next week.
That's why Pudsey Bear
is in the paddock.
Got his own. He got his own pass for this Grand Prix.
Well, we must then therefore
courtesy
say
of McLaren.
Yes, you've brought him here. Well, we must say then, whoever you are, if you're in the UK and even if you're abroad, feel free to donate. I think it's BBC Children in Need as well. So go and it's a worthy cause.
A lot of people in Belgium and Holland. A lot of people in Belgium and Holland speak such good English because of the fact that even in the 70s, 60s and 70s, they could receive our broadcasts from the east of England.
Yes, vice versa as well.
Yeah, we could as well. And so a lot of people watched English television with big aerials. And so in the early stages of Children in Need, they used to do one in Brussels as well. They used to, when you're going around the country and things like that, they always used to pop off to Brussels for the Brussels Children in Need.
Oh, makes sense. So yeah, I do urge you.
More gaffer tape on the Red Bull.
Trying to keep those brakes up as well. I've never seen this work. As you say, it's something out of the 80s. As you said in Free Practice 1.
Yeah, Adrian's having a really, really close look at what's going on.
Doesn't want to
trying to figure out what's happening.
Doesn't want to break anything, does he? So yeah, George Russell, turn 8. He's saying, I've learned it's going to be brutal. With the current speeds of the cars, it should be flat. It's 4 to 5G of load, which is 45 kilos on our necks for 4 to 5 seconds, as you said.
Yeah.
That's going to be brutal. Is that a yellow? Yeah.
We've got a yellow out there on track. And there's a spin.
And that's why it's George Russell spinning.
George, just as he's been talked about on the
yeah.
caption.
Here comes he's one of his best mates, Charles Leclerc, and he's having to donut it back round. Oh, Latifi's off as well. Well, it's a double spin for Williams. Latifi's off at turn 7.
They're going for the synchronised spin.
They are, aren't they? Well, I think it's 10 out of 10 for timing.
The last time we had that was Red Bulls.
Yeah.
Who did it at the same spot. I think we actually also had Valtteri and Lewis do it at the same.
Valtteri and Lewis had to spin together, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, last time out in MotoGP as well, we had 2 riders fall at the same time. Quartararo and Aleix Espargaro, I think, went out at the same time. This is how... Well, what did Russell do? Oh, this is turn 7 and 8. The amount of snaps in turn 8 is a joke. And yeah, because you're on your load and you could break your neck because it's flicking so quickly.
Well, that's why they've been... you can't because of the fact that you're hemmed in and you can only go about things. But you know what's happening is that your neck is going to the side and then straightening because it's been pushed like that.
Yeah.
So you've got a curvature of the neck, and you do it yourself without being in a Formula 1 car, without being a G, with no G's on you. You get a neck problem here.
Yeah.
Which I just did.
I tweaked mine already. I can know what you mean. But this is Latifi's spin.
Can I take it? No, you can't, Queen, take over.
Look, exactly.
I see.
Exactly what happened to Grosjean earlier on in the session. Top of the hill at turn 7.
Yes,
just lost it on entrance. But this time, the car spun to the left and skidded off, and he was able to continue.
Oh, well done, Joshua. Have a knighthood. Say Joshua from now on.
I'll take it. Now, go for it.
Give him a knighthood. What has he done?
Hey, if I get a knighthood before...
Knighthood for... What was he getting knighted for? For these colourful shirts?
Nice shirts, yeah. I'll tell you what, I'll tell you one thing. If
we'll have to give one to Eddie Jordan.
If I get a knighthood before Murray Walker, there's something seriously wrong with the Commonwealth.
If you get a knighthood, it'd be a miracle.
Well, I don't know.
It is Friday the 13th, and it is...
Anything can happen.
And it is Genie Day in Turkey.
Anything can happen. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
You've just reminded me about shirts.
Go on, Josh.
Oh, Leclerc's off the track at turn 9. He's continued on there.
That's
just
fake news. He's on the track again.
Yeah, he's just snapped to oversteer. I'll tell you one thing that just reminded me about saying that with shirts was the fact that in 2011, didn't Eddie Jordan get a shirt in India?
Yeah,
have it signed. Have it signed by everybody he could find in the F1 paddock, and then donated it to children in need.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
He also, when he was in Japan, bought a little kimono for his granddaughter.
Yes, he did, didn't he? Yeah, I remember that. Oh, I still remember one of the best intros that I think BBC have ever done, which is when they went to China in 2012 or something or other, and they got jackets made.
Yeah. Yes, they did. I remember that.
And everyone else had serious jackets bar what Jake and Eddie brought for David Coulthard, which was just cars.
I remember the Hulk buying Rachel a lovely set of boots in Austin.
Oh, yeah.
Cowboy boots.
They cost $1,000. It's like, my goodness me.
They can afford it.
To be fair, though, if I was on either Rachel's or Nico Hulkenberg's salary, I would probably go to Austin and buy a set of cowboy boots because they're cool.
Rachel was at the last Grand Prix, but not working. She was her 2 brothers who were racing drivers were competing in the lower formulas.
And so she
herself used to race open top sports cars.
Those little
4GT types.
Those little
I
can't remember the name of them, but I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
But she's tennis, isn't she? Really.
Like LMP2 cars from 10 years ago with the open cockpit sort of thing. But yeah, and Rachel is back this weekend on Sky Sports F1. Natalie still isolating, although she hasn't got COVID herself. But as we said in FP1, she's close to somebody who is her husband. And I think her brother as well, as Verstappen tries to go side by side with Carlos Sainz through turn 8. I know Verstappen's never raced here before, but let me tell you something. That's the stupidest thing I think you could ever do is side by side through turn 8 because you will come together and one of you will end up upside down.
Well, myself and Christian were annoyed this morning with the antics of the overtakes on practice 1.
It seems to be
too
bizarre.
close. Yeah. What is the point when you'd have to rebuild for practice 2?
Yeah. A lot of work needs to be done ahead of FP3 with Max, just saying, be careful. Verstappen is top.
And he ruined a set of tyres.
Look, he's wrecking this one now. He's trying to get past Carlos Sainz, but Sainz is on a push lap. Verstappen's on an out lap. I don't think this is what it is. Verstappen's on an out lap. Sainz is on an actual lap. He's in a race run now. I don't think Verstappen cares one bit.
No, he's just going for the tow, isn't he, to get his speed.
Oh, we've got a mic problem. Don't know where that's from. It's gone now. I think it was the connector for our earphones. Hopefully you didn't hear that either. But we're okay with broadcasting, I think. We're looking quite good. So Verstappen's on a lap now.
Are we broadcasting?
Yeah, we've been on air for 1 hour, 20 minutes coming up now.
Can I speak?
Yeah, you can have a go, but it's a question if I'll ever get a say in words.
Hello, welcome to you to this.
Sainz is not getting out of the way of Verstappen. I think Verstappen is using him as a tow, as
We've got a 128 now, which when we think about the 133s or 34s that we're having this morning, that's a big improvement.
Tracks.
We said that we wanted a 131 this morning. Never got it. We've thought of a 126, 127 today. We're just asking too much for them on this circuit, I think.
Yeah, the new track layout.
I think we'll only get 126, 127 in quali.
Yeah, Q3 for sure. I don't know what you mean though. It's the new surface.
It's frustrating. Yeah, it's getting better.
Do you think they've all been told?
We had a slight rain this morning, and it turned it into an
ice rink. Yeah.
Ice rink.
Yeah, it was literally just the smallest cloud over turn 9 and 10, and everyone was spinning off there. And it was the lightest rain.
It's the speed and the G-force at that point, though.
Yeah, it's just spinning around.
You change the surface and you've got real problems in those corners.
This is what I'm worried about, because tomorrow it's predicted rain for qualifying and it's predicted showers on Saturday as well. And if that little rainstorm could cause that, what on earth is this weekend going to be like in Turkey? I think we're on, hopefully, for what could be the Grand Prix of the year. And we've had quite a couple great races. Austria, British Grand Prix, Mugello, Monza, Imola was good. Portugal was good. We've had so many great races this year. I'm just thinking, is an old school F1 track?
They used to say the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plains. So would you go on a plane after it'd been rained on all that time?
I did.
Says a lot.
I did. I left Spain from pre-season testing last year in sunny Spain, where they were in a drought for having no rain for about 3 months. I came back to good old Blighty, and I was meted in the worst thunderstorm the country had seen in 10 years. And had to land on the runway and walk along the runway in the rain to the bus, the bendy bus, by the way, to take us to the terminal where we collected our stuff. So, yeah, that was an interesting comeback. And then we did the journey from Leeds back to Grimsby.
The Leeds-Bradford experience.
And then we did the journey, as I said, back to Grimsby. And they got back here, 11 o'clock at night? And had a cookie cake. So I started the day in Spain.
That was the night we locked the doors and turned the lights out.
Yeah, I had to kick the door down. But no, that was weird, because I woke up in Spain and I went to sleep in Grimsby. Some people take a journey and go to a hotel for a night. It's one of the oddest experiences I've ever had. You wake up in a different country and you go to sleep in your own bed. Not many people do that with plane journeys.
At Silverstone, there was this. There was the barrier. And there was a little gap, and there was a big bloke stood in the middle of the gap. So I asked him, "What are you doing there?" He says, "Part of the racetrack." I says, "Why? Who are you?" And he went, "Barry Air."
Oh dear, Barry Air. Oh dear. Well, I do know. Oh, yellow. Sorry, 2 seconds.
We have got a yellow on the track.
It's just come out. Oh, it's one of the Alphas.
Yeah, it's
Raikkonen.
Alpha. Raikkonen's now out in front of.
Yeah, it's Raikkonen.
Albon.
Raikkonen is at the spin.
It's just a spin.
And he's back now with Albon.
By you and me,
they're always going to spin at this place. A new surface.
You've got all the mixture here for a good, exciting bit of practice, and it's just not happening.
Well, we're having some spins and some accidents.
We did that.
Unloaded the rear.
About that. They just seem to be plodding around.
Yeah, they can't get the power down, can they? Look, he just lost the rear. As soon as he asked for the accelerator, did basically what Russell did in Imola. Just spun round. This is going to be an interesting Grand Prix, isn't it? It's not going to be a question of who's the fastest. It's who can keep it on the slippery tarmac the longest. So this is qualifying tomorrow is going to be fascinating. It's making me feel like when we returned to Austria for the first time, and Hamilton had all those problems with the new surface. Do you remember? And he spun off in qualifying 3 and gave the front row to Williams. This is getting interesting. Leclerc's gone for a spin.
Just coming up to 15 minutes to go.
Oh, Leclerc nearly spun at turn 5. That would have been straight into the wall. Just ask Sebastian Vettel.
Maybe they've got us on and they're listening to us and trying
probably.
a bit more.
So let's have a look. Look at that. That would have been in the wall. Just because that's where
Charlie
Vettel
Boy
happened.
was trying to hit that thing this morning and successfully did it.
Yes. The
and
bollard.
then caused a red flag.
The
But
only
that
stoppage
seems
today.
to be his aim, though, to get as close to that bollard as you can.
Is he going to take all the bollards out as well? I don't see why we had a pit lane bollard, for God's sake, at the beginning. That was always going to have danger. I don't know what Michael Masi was thinking. That bollard
Giovinazzi getting out the way.
Yeah, that bollard was always going to cause problems.
And going wide. Why?
Yeah. I don't think he got the stop. The car stopped.
Yeah,
Just
I think his
ran on.
brakes were cold.
Yeah, just completely ran on. Oh, look, there's the smoke again from Ocon that we saw earlier on. It seems to be
Yeah.
something with that Renault when it goes through the underload up the hill. Keep an eye on that one for the weekend.
I don't think it's that wrong. I think he just did.
I think it's designed to do that, but he's getting awfully close to the back of one of the Williamses. I think it might. Is it Russell?
I think. Do you reckon they're burning oil in the
it could
on the
be, yeah.
braking or on the car on the corners?
It could be, but the stewards look at
That's-
that incredibly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's bit, I mean, everybody used to say, "Why are the Ferraris smoking so much when they come out the pits?" And
Yeah.
what they do thing. It was the oil burning that they were doing.
Because the thing is, it's
So when you see something like that, you go, "Ah, yeah, what?"
because it's not the floor either, because the floor sparks, it doesn't smoke. So, and that was happening at the beginning of the session when there was a new plank on. So, I wonder what Ocon is doing. I'll have to prod around and ask a couple of people during the gap, see if they've noticed that as well. I think I'll message Jenny Gowan, see if she's seen any of that. And she could pass on the Renault media person. That's Lando Norris sliding his way out of the pit
21
lane.
today.
And he's going drifting by the look of it. Downhill into the very odd pit lane exit here. Very
You've not done well up
Interlagos.
to now this morning. It is your birthday. Let's have a nice lap from you, Lando.
He's P10.
Here's Gasly with a little replay of what happened to him a few moments ago.
Oh,
Running
off the track
wide.
at turn 8. Yeah, the exit at turn 8 just ran wide. And that's a problem as well, because there's the sensor look you see.
They are clearing the bollards quite well here. Though.
Yes.
There's a lot of ride height, isn't there?
Yeah, they're clearing them quite well. I think
Titanium blocks doing their jobs there to protect the plank.
it's because it's in such an undulating circuit.
Underlay.
Yeah, they need to have it. But yeah, the floor's quite close to the ground on the Alpha 2A there. It's almost hitting the front. But the back, as you say, the wind clearance is quite good. We already read that.
You will never be able to say. What do you mean?
That was earlier on when I was talking and you changed topic quite quickly.
Oh no, because I changed because it can be so boring sometimes.
I know. Gasly P7 at the moment. Well, as I said, we're finishing now in around about 15 minutes, aren't we, for the session? And it's quite weird that we've actually completed everything before the second MotoGP. Oh, is the second? Oh, I think I've missed the second MotoGP. Just thinking about it.
The thing what happens is how I try to do this is I've come in to help him, right?
Yeah, you weren't supposed to be in this session either because we were supposed to having a guest, but they're away.
Are they?
Yeah, the guest that I was trying to call.
You never told me I was a replacement.
We were for free practice. Well, that was going
I'd have asked for more money.
Yeah, well, you are a replacement for FP2.
No, because he really needs me. Because you see, what I do is
I've missed it.
I throw things at him and let him explain.
And I do it. It works.
And it works.
Likewise, I throw things back to you.
And I waffle.
And then I've got Megan tomorrow morning for free practice 3, and I'm looking forward to that because she's going to look at me with those evil dead eyes. Because she's going to be woken up very early in the morning. Yeah, those eyes. Those eyes. That's what I'm going to be welcome to
My
tomorrow.
daughter has my eyes.
So yeah, I'm going to have that tomorrow.
That's why I don't see much.
I suppose you lot are going to have that. Very funny. I suppose you lot are going to have that as well tomorrow. Megan sat there probably with headset on and probably having a drink of either tea or milk. Just trying
I
to
love
wake.
milk.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? So does Landon Us. Just trying to wake up for the morning. And
Indie fans like milk.
who doesn't like milk? It's quite nice.
You don't drink it much. It's all apple juice with you.
I haven't got the apple juice at the moment because that's all I've got. I've got a bit sick of orange juice constantly. gone for an ad break on Sky Sports F1. We'll keep over. Cars just beginning to come back on the circuit with 10 minutes to go. It's unusual for Sky to go for a break with 10 minutes to go. But it's Verstappen, Leclerc, Bottas, Hamilton, Albon, top 5.
They need money, lad.
Yeah, there have been more ad breaks in this session than I've seen before. I don't like the fact that Sky go to ad breaks in a free practice session. BT don't do it with any of the Moto2, Moto3 or MotoGP sessions, so why does Sky always do it? It really annoys me. We pay for over-the-top coverage and we get ad breaks in the most interesting sessions. We've got a bunch of cars grouped together. Stroll, Norris, Leclerc, Albon, Perez, Bottas and Ricciardo.
I am really shocked.
Why?
Because you watch American TV.
And they have loads of ad breaks.
I mean, you watch American TV, NBC Nightly News, right? They have 3 ad breaks in a 22-minute show.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
All it lasts is 22 minutes.
It's billed for 45.
The rest is no, it's billed for half an hour.
Yeah.
But they have 8 minutes of advertising in that 22 minutes.
3 minutes break, yeah.
Let's go for a break. After the break, we will tell you. Yeah, well.
We're not really going for break.
And then you come back and you come back and you're fed up of hearing all these things about digestion and
it's really ridiculous.
And insurance for so and and does your dog like these chews and things like that.
I tell you what though, it really does get on my nerves with the fact is that you see in America as well. The big season.
They do this with the American pay-per-view is the only place where you don't get adverts.
Yeah.
And it's revolutionized American sitcoms
because it's constant.
Because the people have you just get into something on something like Sheldon.
Yeah, young Sheldon.
And Sheldon's got 2 adverts in it. It's got 1 here. And Sheldon's got, and it's what used to really upset everybody. And you can actually, if you watch old Star Treks and Next Generation especially, right, just before the end of the show, right, they will have an advert
for that, before the last minute,
and it totally changes the end of the show. It's not smooth, and it's stupid.
But here it was broadcast on the BBC.
Next Generation.
Yeah.
The BBC America still do it.
Yeah, they do actually. Yeah, right. For some reason, when I watch the Sky News, that's not a live picture, and then someone sat in the remote upstairs. Yellow is out on the circuit. We have a yellow flag. And it's Hamilton, I think. No, it's not.
No, Lewis has gone in the pit.
Lewis going in the pit. I say, why have we got a yellow? I can't see.
I think it's Grosjean again.
DRS enabled zone 2. Norris gone off the track. Leclerc off as well.
Grosjean was going really slow as well.
It could be Grosjean, I think. It's Danny Kvyat. He spun at turn 14, the last corner, and has continued.
And Grosjean's had his lap deleted.
For track limits, I presume.
At turn 1.
Yeah, so he's gone way off at turn 1 then.
That's the second one at turn 1.
Yeah, they're having a bit of an interesting one today, aren't they, with track limits?
Leclerc got turn 1 deleted as well.
Yeah, this is the new page 3 timing one. It comes up with notes from everybody who watches as well. So these race runs, Hammer's doing pretty consistent fast times, mainly under 1 minute 30. That's a good spot. Oh, and we got another. That's a replay of Kvyat going round. Once again, we were just on about breaks and missing crucial moments, weren't we? And Sky going for a break, and we missed what happened to Danny Kvyat. It looked like he just locked the rears, what we've seen usually today, and gone backwards into the wall. He's gone very wide there as well.
Sky do IndyCar, and they go through the American breaks without.
That annoys me as well. Yeah,
but it just proves. I mean, in this country, right? Channel 4 do Formula 1.
Yeah,
but Ben commentates on all of it.
Yeah, Ben,
and then they cut it up. And if he needs to change anything in the audio, he can change it in post-production.
Yeah, quite quickly.
Quite quickly. But it's it's the same with the football, right?
They all do it all. Yeah.
They do the lot. If you're watching Match of the Day, very rarely do they do the commentary after the match after it's been cut up.
Because these days
most of the time they just commentate on the whole lot.
Yeah.
And then that's why there's different commentators.
Because these days it's always broadcast somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the difference.
So Crofty I don't know if
Crofty does commentate with the breaks as well.
Complete.
Yeah.
Then if anything does happen in a break, you can show it on the highlights show where there's no break.
Because of course this is still going to F1 TV, which is uninterrupted, so they still commentate on their broadcast as well. But the pit lane channel
in America, if you want uninterrupted coverage on NBC Gold, you have to pay extra.
But you still don't get
the commentary.
No, you just don't get the commentary as well, because what we watch on Sky F1 is basically NBC Gold.
Yeah.
And they don't talk through the ad breaks. They do exactly the same. They just go for a break, cut all the graphics out. So all you get to see is cars going around.
What NBC do as well is that on the main NBC program, the real NBC, they put, on Saturday and Sunday they put a lot of sports on, and you get Premiership football for free.
Yes, they did. They put it through, and I think
Leeds last weekend, or was it at Sheffield United?
Do they use the UK commentators or is it US commentators?
I was trying to work that out. I couldn't. I think that they have their own.
Right, this is the new graphic on the screens, which is the qualifying pace graphic, and it shows us who they think is going to be the qualifying order for tomorrow. So right now they've got Verstappen on pole with a 132.2. Then we get Bottas on a 132.4. Perez is a 133.1.
Are they all on the medium tyre or the soft?
Softs and mediums, look, because Vettel's 133.3 on mediums.
What's Lewis on?
They've got Russell as P5.
It's not.
So there's AWS already failing. Their new graphic. But Hamilton, did he just say that there's still no grip on these tyres?
No grip on these tyres. What tyres is Lewis on?
Lewis is on the softs. No, Lewis is on mediums. Chill up on mediums, yeah.
So the softs are the way to go.
Yeah, and they haven't got many of them, as I think Christian said.
Christian said yeah.
Practice.
That's why he was annoyed at Max enjoying himself this morning.
So they've got to run some of the race on mediums.
Yeah.
But the problem is as well, you might notice it's getting dark already here in Turkey. Because it's nearly 4 o'clock there.
Well, that's why, yeah, because it's
2 hours ahead. They're 38 minutes.
2 hours ahead.
Yeah, they've got 38 minutes left of sunset, before sunset. So it's getting dark there, so that's why everything tomorrow is 2 hours earlier.
Didn't we used to have that in Hungary where the race finishes and then it goes dark?
Yes, yeah.
The after show is always
in the dark. Yeah, it happens in Australia as well.
Yeah.
It's because they run it at 5.
Singapore is in the night time.
Singapore's always. We've had one time in Singapore. I think that was the first time we were there in 2008 because they put it on at 5 o'clock our time.
Yeah, there was.
And it was like 9 o'clock Singapore time, and by the time it was there, it was getting light. At the time they finished all their shows, because it was lighter earlier.
Singapore had this situation where the practice sessions were in the daytime.
Yes, yeah, FP1 and 3 were always in the day, and I think if anywhere was good, as Vettel locks up into the last corner, that's ruined his lap, but he was on the race one anyway. If anywhere is good for a double head on the same track, Singapore. Because then you can do it. It's a night race, and it looks fantastic. But then
the Hulk got knocked out at the start there.
Yeah, it did in the start, yeah. But yeah, Singapore, fantastic night race. But then look at it in the day, and there's so much architecture around, so many buildings. It's fantastic. So I really, really want them to do a day race Singapore and then a night race Singapore. So shame if next year we're in Singapore and they need another race, just do that, please.
Vettel is in 8th now. Leclerc's still up there.
I think Leclerc is going to be the big surprise this weekend. I don't think Vettel can do it. Vettel's been here or thereabouts. As Verstappen was very long into that corner. That's why. Giovinazzi going through. And Verstappen on the radio. So Verstappen, hang on, 2 seconds. So Verstappen has just been shouting at his race engineer because he didn't tell him on the radio that Giovinazzi was coming past him. But his race engineer replies, they're the same cars that I told you about the last time that have been behind you. And he's then Verstappen on the radio saying...
He can't use his mirrors.
Yeah.
He can't see because of the some of the corners downhill.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's fair for Verstappen to say because he did tell him, but Verstappen shouldn't really be worried about the cars behind him. It's not the race, it's practice. And I think Verstappen's going to learn.
Was it Giovinazzi came alongside him?
Yeah, the last corner. Verstappen went wide.
Disorientated him.
Yeah. I think Verstappen must learn it's a practice session, not a Grand Prix.
I don't think he knows the difference.
I don't either. Some people get missed when they go in a car, but this is ridiculous.
What you see is what you get for Max.
Yeah. But he's taking too many risks. Now, look, he's right behind here. He's coming. Where is he on the track? He's right behind, I think, Gasly.
This is what happened at the end of
Norris.
the first session.
Yeah, 1 minute to go.
And Christian wasn't happy with him. I mean, where has he got to go there?
He's side by side now with Gasly, and Norris is just ahead of him. And Verstappen's going for an overtake, and he goes right round the outside. Well, Verstappen's just done a race overtake on these tyres, and I don't think he's going to be happy with that one, is Christian Horner, because as you said, he's wasting tyres he hasn't got. And there could be contact. There really could be. They've got to stay out there to do the track practice start in the pit on the track. So just don't take each other out and spoil the opportunity. We haven't raced here in 9 years. Sorry, everyone needs to know where they are on the grid. 15 seconds left. Verstappen, Leclerc, Bottas, Hamilton, Albon out there at the moment as well. Checkered flag coming out in 8 seconds. It's already come out on one of the monitors. Don't know why. Now on that one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the checkered flag is out. The session has concluded. Bottas just gets another lap in. But he's 5/10 off, even on the soft compound tyre. He can't seem to get anywhere near. As there's the flag. Oh, wow. Yes, please. That's the most enthusiastic flag waving I've seen all season in Formula 1. Quite like Suzuka.
He's been practicing.
He's been practicing, yeah. It's when they twizzle it in Suzuka, I love. Yeah. They properly go for it in there. Japan is mad for Formula 1. They're some of the best fans I think I've seen. They always get dressed up in the outfits.
I like the hats.
The hats as well, yeah. The DRS ones. Oh, I miss Japan on the F1 calendar. I'm glad it's back next year. But they cancelled both of them this year, didn't they? The MotoGP and the F1. Yeah. And the World Endurance, actually, as well. They're racing this weekend, of course, the World Endurance. That's why Anthony Davidson and Paul di Resta aren't in the Sky F1 team. They're in Bahrain doing their last race of the season, the 8 hours. Congratulations to Toyota, by the way. You're already the winners because Rebellion pulled out because there was no chance they could win the title. So Rebellion pulled out of the race in LMP1. And, of course, that only leaves the 2 Toyotas to go for the last ever race in the LMP1 category before we go to the hybrids next year, which will be at Le Mans. I'm looking forward to that.
Right, I'm going to have to go.
Are you going early?
Yeah. Well,
okay, you go early.
Got a problem.
Right, well, you go early then. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. And you'll be back for Free Practice 3 tomorrow, I believe.
Have you got the keys?
Oh, yeah, sorry. He needs keys to get back in. There you go, that's the key. It's one of them on there anyway. Right, thank you very much. I'll take a stand, actually, if we're doing that. So, Free Practice 2 concludes. I'll stay on the air till the end of the session, and because we can see practice starts as Verstappen goes side by side with Lando Norris, and the checker flag's out now, and I think Verstappen should realise not to overtake Lando because you've got to all go to the grid together. So I'll stay on and wrap up the show. He's had to dive off, I think, because I think MotoGP is just starting, and that's the other one we cover, so I've got to go and delay back one. But what a session this has been for FP2. Verstappen, Leclerc, Bottas, the top 3. Hamilton, Albon, Kvyat, Gasly, and Leclerc's on the radio. Hang on. And Leclerc's saying that something weird has happened. I couldn't downshift anymore. And Ferrari just getting back to him. And he couldn't downshift. He could not downshift. So Leclerc's in trouble for some weird reason. The gearbox won't downshift in time. So, yeah, just a reminder, me and Megan will be back tomorrow morning at 8:50 UK time for the 3rd practice session. And, of course, qualifying is at 11:45 a.m. UK time as they all come to their grid slots now to do their practice starts because the pit lane is a downhill slope and it's too small. And, therefore, the drivers have to do the practice start out on the track on this grid. That was always one of my favourites, actually, Turkey, when it was on the calendar. It was a great racetrack. It always provided interesting racing. And I'm glad to see that we've got F1 cars back in. Hopefully, if it does take the slot of the missing TBC on the calendar for 2021, that'll be interesting. If you missed any of the action, though, you can watch back both of them. As Leclerc on the radio says, everything looks fine on data from his race engineer. So if you have missed any of the action, both of the free practice sessions of Watch Along are available to watch on the YouTube channel below. But join us later on this evening as well for the Friday practice review, where I'll give you a quick rundown of the times and all the interesting things that happened in the session. And then we're back tomorrow with qualifying and Free Practice 3 live, and the race live on Sunday, and the review show as well, where we might have the Magnums if the championship is decided with Hamilton. So it's Verstappen fastest, from Charles Leclerc second, and Valtteri Bottas third. Red Bull ahead of Ferrari, ahead of Mercedes. That's a very interesting call here for the Turkish Grand Prix. Hamilton is fourth, from Albon fifth, Kvyat sixth, seventh for Pierre Gasly. Sebastian Vettel is eighth, Lance Stroll ninth, and Lando Norris rounds out the top 10 on the board. Looking further down the order, we see Sergio Perez is 11th, Esteban Ocon 12th, Antonio Giovinazzi 13th, Carlos Sainz 14th, Daniel Ricciardo 15th, Kimi Raikkonen 16th, George Russell 17th, Romain Grosjean 18th, Kevin Magnussen 19th, and Nicholas Latifi takes 20th place. They all set their time on the Softcom Panther, the fastest tyre, but everyone's getting ready for the session tomorrow. And here's the times once again. So join us. Join us at 8 o'clock tonight for the Friday practice review for all of the action. Free Practice 3 gets underway tomorrow here on YouTube at 8:50 a.m. Megan Burge joins me in the commentary box for that one. Qualifying is at 11:45 a.m. The race coverage on Sunday starts 9:30 a.m. UK time with lights out at 10:10. All three of us will be in the commentary box for that one as Lewis Hamilton tries to go for a 7th world title. But it's been interesting today because we've seen a very unusual running order in both of the sessions. We are going to have fun in Formula One for the last race here of the 4 new/old races before we head off to Bahrain for a doubleheader and then Abu Dhabi. But the championship's looking even more fun. So for Max Verstappen and Red Bull today, it's Turkish Delight. Join us later. From us all here though, bye for now.